Phil Cohen here, Cohen on Content, with Sue, or Susan, Danaher,
Right.
who runs DIPA, used to be OVAB, but they'd rather be called
DPAA.
because it's cool.
Yes.
So, hey, I'm going to go along. I got to read this. I got to read this. This is a quote from you, and I'm going to say it all in one breath, maybe.
Okay.
The plethora of research that has been done over the past 2 years validating the engagement of consumers with digital place-based media and helping advertisers understand its impact. I can't get it all in one breath.
You understand that?
I do understand it. The research brought us these numbers. These numbers are telling everybody, look, this is a compelling audience, or a compelled audience. You know my stand. They are because they're engaged, because the content is engaging. That's what I say. What do you say?
Well, I say exactly the same thing, Phil. I mean, over the years, I think that the network operators understand better every day, but based on research. They understand the audience that they're serving, and by so understanding them, they're customizing their content.
Okay, we're done.
To be appropriate to the environment they're serving it up.
Okay, been saying it. This morning, I was talking to Rob Gorey over at, Ed's Interesting. Well, yeah, he's part of the team.
Yeah.
And I said, Rob, I'm hearing yesterday from a friend of mine, a guy, and I really respect him, and he's saying to me, it's all about impressions, it's all about eyeballs. And then I'm hearing from people that I know what they're talking about as well, and they're saying it's about engagement, because engagement equals recall. Recall is the product that we're selling. I'm saying, which is it? And are you hearing both? Is it one of the other? Rob says to me, it's a maturity issue. What?
Yeah, I'm not sure what he means by that.
I'll tell you. He said that it's all about impressions until they start to realize how strong digital place-based media is, and then they want to hear about content. I'm throwing it out there, not because I'm trying to convince you, you're already there, but following that track, you've got virtually, I can't say, so I won't say virtually, but a huge percentage of the successful digital out-of-home networks are your members.
Mm-hmm.
You talk to them all, you see every different kind of content.
Mm-hmm.
Animation, flash, split screen, RSS.
Right.
What do you see, and how do you see the decision making into determining what's relevant, what's not relevant, or is relevance an issue?
Relevance is absolutely an issue in terms of, so we're talking about a vast array of platforms, and they're in a vast array of environments, right?
Okay, I'm following you.
So we've got doctor's offices, we've got elevators, we've got restaurants, we've got a big variety of places where screens have been placed. People are in different frames of mind in every one of those locations, and they're in those locations for varying amounts of time. So people are on an elevator a very different amount of time than at a casual dining establishment.
Yeah.
So I think that I heard you in one of your sessions talk about that wind blowing through Iowa and building that field of dreams. And I think several years ago, early on, and maybe this is where Rob was going with the maturity issue, early on there was a lot of money out there chasing screens and throwing them up in lots of different places. But as the industry has matured and more research has been done, people understand better now how to engage their specific audience.
The research is being done. Your group put together standards, might not be the right word, but guidelines that we had to translate into metrics that could be reportable in a format that the agencies could latch onto, understand, and be able to use to make their buys. What was on your minds when you decided how to put those metrics together, or what they were?
Well, we had an extensive dialogue with the ad agencies and the ad community as to what would legitimately be called research that helped them understand the size of the audience. So there is that level of research that we help develop guidelines for those folks that are coming into the business saying, okay, what do I have to do to get bought? Well, there's some minimum standards that need to be met in order to get bought. So that is about sizing the audience. There's another kind of research that's done, which is about engaging the audience and
Okay.
about whether that audience is engaged. So not all research is about just sizing the audience. There is also a body of research that's done that helps us understand how best to engage that audience.
Engaged audience, translation, engaged audience. What's the next word that they
Effective.
recall? Effective?
Yeah.
They recall what they saw. Recall is measurable. I know
Yes.
Arbitron measures
Yes.
it.
Yes.
Recall is measurable, and if I've got a product advertised, I think that's my grail. I want you to remember what I say.
Absolutely.
What are you guys gonna do next to help us do all this stuff? What's on the planning board? What's under the table that you guys?
Well, there are two things that we're going to be doing on October 27th at the Roosevelt Hotel. I'm so glad you asked, the Digital Media Summit. We're going to be unveiling two new developments. So, we started with the research guidelines
Right.
about a year and a half ago. The next piece that we're going to publish is creative guidelines. And those guidelines are going to do two things. First, we're going to address common nomenclature to make sure we're all talking the same language, which is not easy across lots of platforms. And then the second part of the creative guidelines is going to be something that it's a solution for the ad agencies to not see a lot of different platforms, but to be able to deliver a simple 2 or 3 pieces of content that can address many different formats. So we're going to look to simplify the creative process for the ad agencies.
Very cool. When is it?
October 27th. The second thing that we're going to be putting out there is an online planning tool. So a resource for ad agencies to figure out how to sort through all of these screens that are out there.
I think I've seen a preview of that.
Yeah, you probably
Very
have.
good. October 27th in New York.
Right, all day, Roosevelt Hotel, and you can register online at
Commercials.
DHAA.org.
DIPA.org. You'll see me next week. Bye.